Hey, you guys, it's Teresa Crane with Jeremiah Dreams. How's everybody doing today? I am so glad to be here with you guys. I hope I have some of my internet issues and router issues taken care of. But as you pop on, would you please say hello, just so I know you can hear me okay, you can see me okay, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I've got a lot of these things resolved. I had to talk to my internet company today, and hopefully it's all taken care of. But we'll see. Okay, but I need you guys to let me know if you have any problems. Um, I'm just kind of waiting for a couple of you guys to join me because I don't want anyone to miss out on what we're doing today. It's going to be kind of a cool project, something I'm doing for a customer. And I thought, what better way than to just bring you guys into the process too? So tell me, as you're joining, tell me where you're watching from. I love to hear about not only the state you're watching from, but the city you're watching from. I love knowing where you guys are. I'm beginning to see some eyes pop in here, and I hope, even if you aren't able to catch me live and you see the replay, I want to know these things. So let me know where you are so that I can say hello to you. And I, as always, when these lives are over, I like to kind of follow up with the comments and answer any questions and just to get to know you a little bit better. So let me tell you, let me change my screen a little bit. This is what we're going to be working on today. The customer found this really neat wood cutout at a local discount store and asked me if I could make something for her with this. So I have some ideas, and we live in Kentucky. So for me, the natural thing to do is to emphasize our state. Now, having said that, um, there are those of us, including myself, who are not confident in not only our ability to draw, but our ability for calligraphy and to write. So I'm going to show you kind of the tricks that I use when I really want to be sure I get things just so, and I'm not feeling good about what my abilities are. So let's start. First of all, I'm going to take the wrapper off, and this came as a, I need some scissors. You could hang it by itself. Let me show you. Get this off of here. And there's some hangers on here. And I'm just going to take those off. I've got my screwdriver handy. And let me just get that off. And then we can move on along here. Watch it be like super screwed in, y'all. I am not, it's really strange. I play the piano, but a lot of times when it comes to things like this, I have very weak hands. I think it's because my hands are kind of small. But I'm thinking to myself, oh, I bet they used a power tool to put this in there, but it's not too bad. So I can get this off. So are you guys beginning to make plans for the 4th of July and got some fireworks and barbecues lined up? I know that we're beginning to make a few plans. Nothing major, but still, we're going to do a few things. Probably do some fireworks and some cookout and stuff, just like most people will. So here's the thing. I am going to use Waverly chalk paint in the matte finish, but I want to add a little color to it because I don't want this to be white. So I've been kind of studying up on this, and we're going to give it a try. I believe I can tint it with adding just a little bit of, I've got some apple barrel khaki color paint that I'm going to add to this because I don't want this to be a bright white. Let me just pull this over here so you can kind of see. Get just one little plate out because I usually keep a stack handy because so many times I am using different color palettes when I paint. I'll have to show you some of the things I'm working on right now. So let me check this up just a little bit. And I'm just going to tint it because I want it to be an off-white. Her decor, her scheme, and her home is more neutral. Let me just get my little palette knife. Let me just blend this. And so it didn't make sense to go with just a white base on this. So I've just added some regular acrylic to this chalk paint. But I need to use the chalk paint because this is a wood cutout, and I want to be sure that it adheres very well. So I'm just tinting, okay? And I got quite a bit because I want to be sure I had enough to cover everything. So now, get my brush. Let me just scrape this excess off. And you know what? I did not bring my water. So we'll just have to improvise while we're here. And that's okay. It'll work out fine. You know, I just kind of flew in from work and I was trying to think of all the things. So I'm just going to put this nice neutral cream color on here. Get a good base going. Now I'm going to tell you kind of what I have in mind. It's not for this to go straight on the wall like this. My vision is to put together some reclaimed wood or pallet wood and make a foundation for this cutout. And that's something that I'm not going to have today for this live because it takes a little bit longer to kind of put that all together. And I feel like it's going to take most of our time to get this done. But it might take a couple of coats to get a good foundation on this. Let's see. It usually does, just because the paint wants to just soak into the wood, and it often takes more than one coat. So, but how's everybody doing? Let me know that you're here. Tell me hello, where you're watching from. I want to know where you are. I will give you a fun fact if you don't know who I am or you're new to me. I live on Tobacco Road in Hickory, Kentucky. Now, that's pretty country, and so I do live in a rural area. Hold on. Excuse me. And so out here in the rural area of Western Kentucky, we don't always have good cell service and all those cool things, but it is what it is. So let me dry this. And I'm going to take a quick drink of Sprite. Hey, Doris from Michigan. How are you today? Thank you, ma'am, for joining me this afternoon and saying hello. It's really nice to meet you. Let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can see everything okay, because I have had some internet issues. I've been on the phone with my internet company, so hopefully I have them resolved, but I certainly need to know if you guys are experiencing any difficulty in hearing me or seeing me. So I'm going to put another coat on here. I just want to be sure I've got a good foundation, and I'm going to go ahead and paint the edges of this also. But then I got something kind of neat, and this will be a good trick. It's one I use a lot. I've shared it before, but I think it's one of those things that you can't share too much because I am an artist, but I know that many people are not confident in their ability to draw and to do calligraphy stuff. And I love calligraphy. And I'm going to be quite honest, even though I'm an artist, I don't have a lot of confidence in my freehand calligraphy. It's one of the things that I just got to continue to practice on, but I'm not there yet. I have a long way to go, but I haven't given up on it. And I think that's the key, is don't give up on yourself or where you are in the process. You just got to keep at it. Okay. Now this has a black edge around it, but I'm going to paint that as well, but I will wait just a little bit. Well, hi, my friend Francis. Good. Yes, this is StreamYard. So hopefully I've got my internet issues fixed. So if you see jerky moves or any problems with sound, please let me know. I greatly would appreciate your input and heads up on that. Yes, there's been some back and forth as to whether or not Facebook likes StreamYard, and I've asked several people that are business coaches what their take is, and there's a lady that I think quite a few creatives follow, that she said Facebook doesn't care about you using StreamYard, and she uses StreamYard. So I really like being able to see you and you see me, but still you being able to see what I'm working on very up close and personal. Especially doing things like what I do, where if you're on the other side of the screen and looking this way, I mean, you can't always see everything you need to see. Okay, so now we're going to, let me show you. Now, because we live in Kentucky, and where Hickory, Kentucky is in the very western tip of the state. So I've gone to my computer, and y'all, I use a program called Canva, and I put together this word, and I wanted to do it in kind of a calligraphy style. And then I've got my state of Kentucky, right approximately where Kentucky is on the map. And it is exaggerated, and that's what I want. And then I've got a heart right in the western tip where we live. So my trick, and those of you that are familiar with me have seen me do this before, but for those of you that are new to me, this may rock your world. So to transfer this image, because I want to do something similar to this layout, I take good old carbon paper. Back in the day when we had typing class in business class in high school, we used carbon paper every single day. So, oh, Doris, good. I'm glad to know. How do you like it? How do you like this setup? Give me kind of what your thoughts are. I'm interested to know. So I'm going to take my carbon paper. I'm going to take my little word here, and I want to try to get it centered. So the way I do this is I kind of feel where my edges are to make sure that I'm not going to be going outside of anything, and I think I'm good. Now, here's the really cool part about this. I just take a pencil, nothing super duper about that, and I'm just going to kind of follow down the middle of these strokes and just kind of sketch out my word. And this is going to transfer the image onto my surface. And another reason I like doing it this way is because when I do it freehand, for some reason, I struggle with getting it placed just exactly like I want it to be. I struggle with having it centered correctly, with not running out of room. And I know a lot of you can probably appreciate that yourselves. I'm kind of skipping where the state is because I'm going to be putting our state in as a solid area. Okay. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and draw my state in. And it's got a lot of little curvy things, but I'm going to try to be very careful and be sure I include these because that's what makes our state look like it does. And then I've got a heart that I'm going to go ahead and trace. I could do a freehand heart, but I want to be sure it's going to look okay. I just am kind of like that today. All right, I'm going to lift it off. My paint was still a little wet, which is not surprising, but you see I've got the image. I've got a pattern. Yes. Miss Francis says, I've heard Facebook doesn't like to play nice with, yes. Yes, they do. And Francis, it was Serena. You've heard a lot of people in our creative community talk about Serena, who's the business coach down in Florida. And I asked that question specifically, and she uses StreamYard and says it should not be an issue. So I'm going to touch up these little areas where my carbon paper got stuck. And if any of that carbon accidentally transferred off where I was resting my hand, that's going to get taken care of when I start painting. So I think we're good. It did pretty well. Just going to kind of smooth this out right here. And I really like how just adding some regular acrylic to tint the chalk paint. I really like how that worked. And it looks just great from this point. Okay. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is use a very dark brown for my calligraphy. So I have, this is really kind of an older tube of paint that I've had, and I don't recall seeing, well, yeah, I think Hobby Lobby does carry this. Well, actually, Francis, I am not in her paid group right now. I'm just doing her free group, but they are very open, she and her assistant, to asking any kind of questions, and they were very responsive. Okay, so I don't think I've got a brown dark enough in Apple Barrel, but I really like Apple Barrel. But we're going to use this color for this. However, we're going to use, this is Apple Barrel, primary blue for the state, because Kentucky Blue. Oh, you are in her paid group. I see. Okay, awesome. Oh, girl, you'll have to kind of tell me what you think, because it might influence my decision a little bit later. And I'm going to use Apple Barrel Flag Red for the heart. Okay. So let me start with the red. I'm going to work from the top down to the bottom. And let me get my palette over here. May have to get it. There we go. I was afraid it was almost empty, and I have plenty of red, so that would not have been a problem. And I'm going to use a very, very small round brush. This is like one of my favorite brushes. It's a go-to for me. And this is a small area. So I'm just going to paint this little heart in here like so. And when I get through painting the blue, I'll probably come back and put another coat on that. But for now, we're going to let that be. I'm going to get another small round brush, and I'm going to get this primary blue. And I'm going to add that for my state. Excuse me, you guys, allergies. Oh my. Let's see. I don't know if I really want to use that one. Yeah, I probably should. Oh, here's another little one. Let's do this. I'm not wild about that brush. It's kind of an older brush, and it's seen better days. So I'm just going to start here at the heart and go very, very carefully around it. And be very, there's a little place right there that I need to be sure it meets. And then I'm going to go on this side, and I'm holding my brush pretty much on end to use the very tip of the bristles of this brush, because I want to be sure and maintain that shape, because that's what makes our state look unique, is its shape. Everybody knows the state of Kentucky when they see it. I'm just going to go ahead and go along the outline first. So I'm getting all these little crooks and crannies and curves that I want to be sure and maintain. Frances, how long have you been in her paid group? Let me know. I'm very interested. Now, one thing you want to watch too is not to put too much paint on your brush, because it's wanting to bleed a little bit, and that's truly a function of the wood, I believe, and not any of the chalk paint or anything that I've already got on there. So just allow for that, or just be careful about how much paint you have on your brush. Okay. I'm going to go back where I first started and add a little bit more to this section. So I want to be sure it's nice and bright, a good solid color. Just going very carefully, trying to get as close to this heart as I can. And another thing that I will probably do, if I may not have time this afternoon, is add some shadow effects so that it will look like these images are kind of lifting off of the surface. It kind of gives it a dimensional look then, instead of just a flat image. I like to try to get things as real as possible. I know my hand is probably right in front of where you need to see, but I was trying to get this upstroke right there. Okay, I'm going to let that kind of cure, dry well and cure before I add any more to that. Let me go ahead and add a little bit more red to this heart so that it will be nice and bright. Okay, now I want to do the dark brown for the words. I know how to do calligraphy as far as the downstrokes and the upstrokes. I just don't like how mine turns out. I have to practice some more. Okay, I'm trying to find just the right round brush, and I'm going to start. This is kind of a big one. Hey, Lisa. Oh, girl, thank you. Oh, I know you can't. Lisa is moving back to Kentucky before too long. She sure is. Kentucky is calling her name. Okay, I'm going to turn this a little bit. So I'm going to try to do this, y'all. No promises, but so the upstroke. Watch, go back over it. I'm going lightly because I'm so not confident of my skill in calligraphy. So you have to be sure you got plenty of paint on your brush. You could probably use a paint pen. I think I haven't found the right paint pens yet. I think that's my deal. So I'm just kind of sticking with what I know. And so on the downstrokes, you go wider and apply more pressure. I'm going to smooth this out right here. I want to kind of draw this little tail right here out. Kind of smooth out my edges. But you can see my downstroke is definitely wider. Oh, yes, Francis. Let me tell you, I just, I don't have a lot of confidence in my freehand. Now, if I'm just writing in my journal or something, I'm fine. But to do something like this, no, not so much. And it has been a game changer for me to help me get the look I'm looking for and kind of take out some of that guesswork. I just feel better about it. I'm just kind of smoothing out these edges. Got an upstroke here. And we're going to have a downstroke and an upstroke. Upstrokes are thinner, so I'm going to kind of meld these together, smooth that out. This is an upstroke, so it's going to be thinner. Kind of smooth out my paint. Okay, and here comes a downstroke. Here we go. And bringing it to a point. So I'm just going to come back and smooth this out too. Okay, we're getting there. And I know my hand is right in front of you for much of this. Your letters start big and get smaller. Oh, I know, running out of room. That is my big thing. Yes. And I wind up not being happy with what I've done because I don't have it centered the way I envisioned. And so using this method has really helped me to be sure I have things where I want them to be before I start in. Got a downstroke here. I wish I could do this upside down so y'all could see a little bit better. But if I did, I would forget which is my downstrokes and which is my upstrokes, and then it wouldn't be correct at all. All right, so here's an upstroke. Now we got a downstroke, but we're also coming right up on this state, and I don't want to take a chance of getting into it and messing it up. So I'm just going to kind of blend that in. Okay. Then this is going to be an let's see, that's an upstroke. This is a downstroke, so it should be wider. See, y'all, I've already got it backwards. That's okay. See, you don't have to be perfect. Upstrokes are thin, downstrokes are wide. And I'm just kind of bringing it together. And here's a downstroke. And then you kind of just pull that pressure up so that you can get the thinner upstroke, okay? Y'all, my daughter-in-law can do gorgeous calligraphy in paint. I'm like, how'd you do that? Girl, it's too pretty. I told her someday when I grow up, I want to be like you. Kind of just smoothing out some edges there. So that's kind of the gist right there. Let me put it straight again so you can kind of see. Oh, Emmy, how are you, my friend? Well, I try to be a good mother-in-law. I do my best. I'm not perfect by any means. Now that I've got this in place, I am going to go back and do a second coat on my wide areas because I want it to be nice and solid. And then I'm going to take a smaller round brush and improve my thinner areas because I'm afraid if I use this same brush, I will get outside of the parameters that I've kind of set for it. So here's a downstroke. I need to be sure I've got plenty of paint on my brush. And here's and I'm going to come over here and work on this one. Now again, my vision is to put together a reclaimed wood foundation, and I don't have it built yet. What I've got out on my deck is too long, so I'm going to have to cut it down, and I will probably work on that tomorrow and get the foundation prepared. And then I'll be sure and let you guys see the finished product. And I'm thinking I would use about 3 little panels for that. Okay, I'm going to use a smaller brush now and touch up these down upstrokes. See, I got to really think about it. You could sing the children's song Deep in My Eyes. That's right. That is a great idea. Oh, you guys, we are about out of time. I didn't even realize, y'all, this is the fastest 30 minutes in the entire world. We've been together 28 minutes, and it's been fun, y'all. I will definitely, I hope you can see my vision, though. That's the main thing. I want to share the takeaways are you don't have to be perfect at your lettering. Print something out from the computer. Use some good old carbon paper to transfer it onto your surface and then paint away. Oh, you might need this sign for your new house, Lisa. I see. This one actually is for a customer. She found this, but she told me where she got it, and I'm going to go see if I can get some more because I think this cutout is really cute. And it's not like a common store, or I would tell y'all exactly where to go. But I'm going to do some hunting and see if this can be purchased somewhere else, and then I'll share that with y'all too. But I'm just going to massage it is what I like to say. And good, Emmy. I hope you will. I hope you will, girl. Go watch the replay. And y'all paint the blessings. Tell your friends about my page and the things that we do. Let me switch back over here because I'm getting ready to have to say goodbye. But tell your friends about me. Tell them that I'm a lot of fun and do a lot of fun things, pretty things. That's what we like to do. But you guys, thank you for joining me today. Y'all are just the best audience ever. I'm so very thankful for each and every one of you. And y'all have a blessed rest of the day. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.